Hello, everyone at the NC Education Corps. My name is Dr. Ryan Bradshaw, and I'm applying for a position to see if I can help. And this is my few-minute video that you wanted me to make. And I'm using Screencast-O-Matic, which is a tool that I use with my students online already to allow them to see me and to address the matter at hand on the screen, which is the questions you have for me. And so you're asking, COVID has had a tremendous effect on us and our communities. What is one joy that has come from living through the pandemic? I'll say that I have 3 children and I love my children very much. And so being able to spend time with them has been a blessing and a curse. I'm not going to lie. It's a blessing though, because I do love spending time with them, but we have spent a lot of time together pent up at the house. And like all children, my children also fight from time to time, so I have to split them up. But I have enjoyed being able to spend so much time with them. In fact, I was home for about 6 months this past year, teaching and working remotely, and that was challenging, trying to manage work and home and children because my kids were, out of school as well. So, but we adjusted, we made it work. And we're continuing to make it work. We're doing what it takes, and so that's been a joy. It has been to spend time with my children. I think a lot of people take for granted, the fact that they work and they have things to do and they don't spend enough time with their children. So I'm thankful to be able to have spent time with them. So what's the one sorrow that's come from this season? I think the divisiveness and the ugliness that and the stress and anxiety that is present in our society has been the sorrow. And it does concern me, it bothers me that we live in a time that there seems to be divisiveness and ugliness and anti-intellectualism, where we would question science and turn against science just because of rhetoric. Those things are very sorrowful for me. And so that has been, and to see things that I realize are either untrue or true, and to feel kind of powerless to affirm the truth and to, discount the untruths that I see come out. So those have been pain points for me this past year. So one silver lining, let me think. What's been a silver lining? I guess being able to make my kids more self-sufficient. That's been a silver lining, because they've had to be more responsible. They've had things, they have things to do when sometimes I can't monitor them all the time. And so making them more independent and responsible, that's been a silver lining. And another silver lining for me is to show the resilience of what we do. I teach myself, and so being able to, we were able to go virtual and basically within a week we went completely virtual, and so that is something that's been good to show that we could make those adjustments. So tell me about a time that you were resourceful. The question number 2. The first thing that comes to mind is recently I was on the way to a gleaning. I do some part-time work with a group called the Society of St. Andrew, and I was on the way to a sweet potato field on a Saturday morning. I left the house at 6 o'clock. And I got about close to an hour away from the house, and my tire went flat. And I've had to change tires before, but every time it's a unique challenge. I've done it in the heat of July. I was sweating by the side of the road making that happen. And I've also done it, in the early morning hours. This was an early morning hour, and I took care of it though. I got out and got that tire popped off and got a new one put on and kept going down the road. So that was a resourceful thing that I did recently. And then lastly, if you were placed in a tutoring role in the North Carolina Education Corps, what would you do in a situation where you were struggling to connect or motivate your students? So one thing I do with all my students is I try to find common ground from day one. I talk about, there's about 5 or 6 questions I ask on day one, and it talks about other things besides the subject. It talks about, what books they like to read, which, shocker, a lot of my students don't read books, so I try to encourage them to read. But it talks about what movies they like, what music they listen to, what type of work they do, what their hobbies are, what their major is. I teach at a community college, and so I try to get them involved in a more of a personal connection. And almost every time they come up with something that I can relate to. If they like Star Wars, or if they've read this particular book that I've read, or if they've done this type of work, if they've worked in food service. Hey, I've worked in food service. So I try to find common ground and form the basis of a relationship from that and build trust that way. That way they should see I'm just a person too, and I'm somebody that can be there and talk to you and guide you through this educational journey. And that brings us to 5.5 minutes on my video. And I look forward to talking to you. And thank you so much for watching. And I hope you have a great rest of your day and rest of your week. And talk to you soon. See you later.